Alright, welcome back. It's time for Chapter 4 of Amerzone. I think this chapter, me at least, is sort of the meat of the game in some respects. But let's have a look for ourselves. Alright, so we last hit a fuel shortage again and pulled up by this little pier on the river. So let's haul ourselves out of here for a minute. A little hard to figure out how you're supposed to maneuver in a few places. Here we go. So somebody lived here. This, I believe, is described in the diary of Monsieur Valenbois that we found at the beginning of the game to be where his guide into the interior of the jungle lives. So we can go past that little hut and back here. There we go. Not unlike a real jungle, it's sometimes a little hard to judge exactly where you're supposed to go. There's some more gas. And then the only other thing you can interact with in here is this. So if I go to the inventory, this is, I guess, a map, but I don't actually know. I'm not actually for absolutely certain of what this is a map, for one thing. And for another thing, I don't know exactly how much help it's supposed to be because there's only so many options we have for places to go regardless. So I don't actually know why that's there. Maybe I'll figure it out in mid-sentence somewhere down the line. I usually do. Nowhere else to go. Point right at the hydro float. Alright, not much else to do but get back in. Should have taken the canopy off. Gas up. Okay. Can we just hit the throttle and keep going? No, we cannot. Oh, yes we can. Okay. Very nice. Alright, there's a funny little sort of choke point with these cliffs coming up. And the herds of some of the make-believe animals that we saw in the diary earlier. Alright. So, these are, I believe, the ones that are called porcopotamus. And apparently they're having none of us going any further. No interactions to be done. I love this, though. I love that the hydrofloat even has this. That's just hilarious to me. But that seems to have been enough to persuade them to get out of the way, I guess. And right after that, we encounter a couple of so-called tricorn buffalo. We can really do. Have a look here. Let's forge ahead. Don't much like the way that beast is looking at us. Ow. Well, shoot. I don't know how that happened, since the last time I looked, the engine was on the back of the hydrofloat, but never mind. We're stuck. So what is there to be done? Well, this is one point where I'm never entirely sure exactly what it is I'm supposed. There we go. You click on, for some reason, the left-hand side of the windshield, I guess, and from there we engage here again. And, well, if we can't, if our engine's shot, then there's one other option. Grapnel. Anything we need from that. Alright, now this bit's a little fiddly sometimes because of the because of the grainy graphics. But just to give you an idea, if I click any old where, and then I hit this throttle, it just shoots straight ahead and then gets retracted. So you have to shoot it exactly the right place, and by and large it's on these rocks. So try it now. Much better. So we're basically hauling ourselves along by degrees here, so there's almost always a pillar of rock out front so far. There we go. And then try this one. Yep, there. Well, there's a pier over there, but I don't think we can get at it. I don't know why it even occurs to us this is a good idea, but there is I believe it's what they call a rhinopotamus up ahead of us there. Maybe we mistook it for a rock or something. But now it's towing us along. Goodness gracious. Alright. Well, at least he had the good grace to pull us up somewhere where we can disembark. Nice little bit of shoreline amongst all these rocky cliffs, I guess. Okay. Now, if you follow the cable, it takes you all the way into this little creek. And our guy is over here, but it's still stuck to him. And he's having none of this. Oh. Second time getting knocked unconscious in this game. Now, it's kind of funny the way I like these mash-up animals. I mean, it's got the, they call it the rhinopotamus. It's kind of got the body of a rhino or a hippo, but that face looks like a horse, and it looks like somebody took a gazelle's horns and stuck them onto his snout. Funny looking design. Anyway, well, we're definitely not getting that off without a fight, but it turns out we can go up into the jungle here. I'm going to warn you, I may get a little bit turned around doing this part because it's actually remarkably difficult to tell what's a path and what isn't. Mind you, that's, as I said earlier, I think quite a bit like an actual jungle would be. And there's remarkably little in it that I've ever been able to find. You just keep forging ahead or sideways because I think that, oh, no, that must be the way I came. Here's the way I'm going. Alright, so if that's the way I came, now I'm just hooking around here. There we go. That was a nice little bird animation there. Make our way past these monoliths. Alright, I think that's the way I came, therefore I want to go this way. Alright, I think I'm back where I started now. Let's try over here. So, the fact of the matter is, at least in my experience, the best way to navigate in this part is just to wander around until things start to look like you haven't seen them before. So I'm going to actually go back this way. Absolutely, it's kind of trial and error, but it is genuinely hard to tell where you're supposed to go in a lot of parts. So I think if I go this way, I'm going to be back at the water's edge. No, maybe not. What about over here? I don't think I've been over here yet. Ah, no, I definitely haven't been over here yet. This is... What is that? Looks like a archery kit, maybe? A blowpipe? I think that's all that's in there that I'm meant to get. Ooh, butterfly. That's neat. Alright. This is a sort of richness of the environment that reminds me of Riven. I mean, it's, graphics aren't up quite as good as Riven, but it's still very loving detail. There we go. Okay, we made our way back out to the creek. So, we didn't kill this poor thing by doing this, but it certainly does seem to make him less disagreeable. Well, he's out cold. Take that off of him. I'm sure he'd appreciate when he wakes up anyway. occurs to me, apart from, letting us engage with this really cool environment that was explored in such, or explained rather, in such loving detail in the diary, I don't know what else precisely we were supposed to achieve from that other than just a general hiccup on the road. Alright, so we go plug back in, clicking on the windshield there to get back into grapnel mode. Nice little pillar of rock in the river up there. Pull ourselves along. Okay, I didn't do that. I don't know, I must have double-clicked by mistake or something, because it seemed to have assumed I did that twice. Alright, pulling ourselves along now. Alright, now this one's a little trickier because there is a smaller rock up there, but just the graininess of the graphics become a little more of an issue in this stage of the game because it's quite hard to discern anything. So, yeah, see, that didn't work. But I also can see what looks like a pier or something there. Let's see if I can hook onto that. There we go. Alright. There's two of those pescosaurs, those fish-eating reptiles that he described in the diary as well. See if I can hang on to those rocks they're standing on. Well, evidently I can, but these bizarre-looking beasties are having none of it. Oh, laugh it up, why don't you? Jeez. Alright, so once again, this is another natural obstacle that I have to work my way around. I have to make use of what's available, so if I hop on out, and goodness knows what else this pier could possibly be here for. Slog up this creek here. I hear something. Wasp nests. Oh, this is pretty. Reminds me of some places I visited in the Caribbean, actually. Alright. So they're over there. The pescosaurs, and these wasps are here. Something like a wasp attack to make things freak out. So, there's something I can use there. What? Well, I can pick this up. It's just a stick. I always found that very hard to see, just again because of the graphics, but the old rub two sticks together approach on that dried bracken there there we go. Well, we're smoking out these wasps. What precisely is going to stop them coming after me, I don't know, but luckily they appear to blame these beasties. Very cartoony sound effect there. Cool. Alright. I got away clean. I better get out of here before the wasps realize who's really responsible for this. There we go. Alright, so same thing as before. And we're away. Alright, and this is where it gets a little trickier just because it's hard to see the rocks that you're supposed to grab onto. I think that's it. Yes, it is. Okay. Alright, this one's particularly hard to parse, but I think that's what we want. No, maybe not. Alright, what exactly am I grabbing onto here? There it is. Okay, yeah, that's a little stump of rock down there. Alright. Very difficult to detect some of these. Oh, no, I guess that's not what I want. There we go, okay. It's kind of neat that they're escalating the difficulty a little bit, so probably now I want to grab onto this one. Yes, I do. Ooh, big waterfall there. Sweet. Alright, pity you can't pan around much in this angle. We can see where we end up. Cool. Alright, and then looks like another pier up ahead, I think. So can I hook onto that? Yes, I can. Oh, this is much more elaborate. There's a current that pushing me, I guess waves from the waterfalls are pushing me up, and so that brings us to the end of Chapter 4 already. A really sightseeing tour, but Chapter 5 will continue really sinking our teeth into Amerzone when we return. All right.